Welcome to another episode of the Awakening series with Heather Marissa. And today, I don't know where we're going. We have a
We're
week.
chit chatting because we haven't talked in a week
Yeah.
and we're catching up with all the ish that has been going on in our lives and not been going on, and the revelation, the dreams, and how we're a collective, because so many things that she's been talking about that she's went through, I have went through similar things in a completely different way, but that's how the collective works, is that we go through the exact same things in different ways. That's why any message you see can relate to so many different people, because it
Seriously.
that's
It's
what
11:44, by the way. It's 11:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. So it's like the 1:44. If
oh
you
yeah,
know, you know. Uh,
which is
and for those that's watching, today is Tuesday, what's the date?
26th.
The
Mercury goes
26th.
into retrograde today.
Oh, well, that could be another crazy thing. So it's the 26th of November of 2024. So depending on when you watch this, just kind of giving you an update. Last week for me was hellacious. Okay. I'll give you my run now. Let Marissa tell her side. So I got this big gut feeling to not get online. I didn't do any videos. Like, luckily, I had some videos stored on my phone so I could place on TikTok, but like, I didn't do any editing. I didn't do any recording. I didn't do anything. And my emotions were like a freaking roller coaster. I was high and then freaking low. If any of you watched this video on Friday, that would have been the 22nd, right?
Yes.
So the 22nd of November. I don't know if anybody else felt this way, but I was so emotional on Friday. I don't even know. I was like, why? And I'm not talking about just sad, like a tear or drop out. I ugly cried. Luckily, I was by myself, but I was processing emotions like crazy. And I mean, it was just like that kind of cry. It's like, where crap is this coming from? It wasn't me. I knew I wasn't sad, but I was like, where is this coming from? And my guys were like, you're processing this energy, this conscious collective. So it's almost like we're waking up to the reality of where we are and what we've been through and our separation from source energy, and it's like all purging. So if you're crying for no reason, there's a reason. We're letting go of those suppressed emotions from everybody. So we're kind of like helping the collective. So it's not you, but somehow, some way, like we're all connected in. And from what I'm learning with this energy, if you feel really high highs and really low lows, you are a bridge light worker. So those that are in the front runners, they're getting this light codes in, and then we kind of run to them, get the baton, process that high energy, and then we alchemize it some way. I don't really understand. I'm learning too. Okay. So I'm just kind of going from what my mind can, my 3D mind can wrap around. So we're alchemizing this energy, and then we take the baton and hand it to the anchors. And then the anchors are like, dude, man, this beautiful planet, like they don't have the high highs or low lows. They're just kind of like, they anchor in the energy. They are so beneficial, but they are able to like neutralize and do such amazing work. But us bridgers, holy crapola, our high highs are so great, but then our low lows are so depressing. You're like, what the freak is going on with me? I feel emotional. Why am I like this? So if you feel that way, know that you are doing your job as a light worker.
Mm-hmm.
What a week.
And don't get down on yourself, because I have been dealing with the same thing. And I have, just because I've been in a very high frequency, very optimistic, very excited for the future, more of a feeling like the world is working for me, not against me. And I don't feel like it's working against me necessarily now, but it's more of kind of like I've been in such a good place lately that I've been in this, it's not even, a low place, that I'm just like, it feels as if I guess this is just my experience. When I'm down in those low places, it's like, feels as if you're never going to be able to get out, like that you're stuck in that place. And then you have to remember, like, we transmute it. And so I've been doing that and remembering that. And there's different ways you can transmute it. One of my ways is to clear the energy, of course, taking baths, grounding yourself. Do you relate? Right?
Huh?
Yeah, okay. Just I'm new to this. She's like my little mentor. Not little. She's like my best friend mentor. She's just the most beautiful
soul family. Yeah.
I'm still yes, soul family. I'm still very much learning, and I also channel when I talk. And so sometimes there's things that come out that it's like, oh, like just as I was talking, I was realizing that I've been doing these things just naturally. It wasn't even a conscious thing. So I don't know how that works, but whatever.
Yep.
And
divinely guided.
Yeah, divinely guided for real. That's so funny you say that, because I made some TikToks about it. Okay. Literally in the caption, it says divinely guided. Or divine guidance or whatever. Okay. So here's what happened to me. Okay. I was like at a really high. I made like, okay, actually, let's see. It was a roller coaster because I wasn't feeling too good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take a bath. I need to just ground myself. I took a bath. And in my baths, I'll listen to frequencies. I put my phone away where I can't even touch it, so I'm not distracted, because that is my biggest self-sabotaging tendency that I go to. Up until now. And so I took a bath, put on some frequencies, and I meditated. Well, we all had different meditations. I think we talked about this in another video. Or is that just a conversation we had? I think we did. I don't know. We talked much. So my meditation is, I just think, and I just let the thoughts run and run and run and run. And then eventually it just clears out. Or I sometimes get what I now know are visions. And I didn't ever think about that before, that they were. And this one is it was a little bit different than they usually are, but here it goes. Okay. So I'm in the bath and I'm having this vision. Okay. Let's actually back up. So the last month, maybe 2 months, I've even talked to you how I wanted to go back to New Mexico.
Yep.
My heart has been yearning to go back to New Mexico, but I didn't know if it was, there's been stuff at home going on, and I didn't know if it was like me just trying to, that was a familiar place, and that's where my brain was instantly going to, that I could make it work or go somewhere else, yada yada yada. And so I've been really battling with this in the last month. I've seen so many signs, so many synchronicities with New Mexico. And then I make a phone, or I find out that this person that is one of the reasons I didn't want to go back, for different reasons, moved.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what? And then my old neighbor commented on my post on Facebook, and she was like, the trailer is empty. And I was like,
wow,
what? I was like, okay. So then I texted Draven. Oh, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. I texted the landlord, or the owner of the house, and asked him, and he's like, oh, I don't know, last time, whatever, it doesn't matter. So then I take a bath and I meditate, and I have this vision of, I don't even see, I'm trying to be skeptical, because it's like, I want to tell you, and I'm cool making a video recording. I just don't know, just in your
telling your goal before it happens, so it doesn't sabotage it.
Right. Or like if any of the viewers see it, and then you just never know who's going to watch it,
Yeah.
But it is something that is eventually going to go out. Like, hopefully I need more guidance on when to make this plan happen. But I had this vision that included New Mexico.
Right.
And, I didn't know if it was even possible, because some of the things the last I heard it wouldn't have been possible. So then I contacted someone that I knew there, that we I don't want to say had a falling out. Maybe, yeah, I guess a falling out. It was a kind of a really bad situation, honestly, with all people involved. And I called him, and he was ecstatic to
Oh
hear from
wow.
me. He was just like, the way that my vision lines up exactly with what is happening in his life, and it's just incredible. So then he's like, I told him my situation. He already knew. He actually helped me pay for my bankruptcy when I lived down there. Um, so well, I worked for him. So that,
Right.
I mean, I worked for it, but he fronted
Right.
whatever. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But I think that we are soul family because the way that we connect, he is an Aries and he is just ADHD everywhere. He's 70 years old. I mean, this man has stage 4 cancer. I don't know how he has so much energy. It is honestly just incredible. But I was the only one that was able to calm him down. Like, through everything, any situation, he doesn't care. We were working with movie stars, like, and he went in there because the place he owns, they were staying in it, and he went in there all hot and headed, just ready to ring someone out. And I'm like, no, 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 no. These are connections. You need to keep these. This is they're. Come on, but there's other anything. Anyways, our connection is just really beautiful. He's like a grandpa to me, you know? So he offered to rent me a car, pay for the gas down there, house me, and give me a vehicle when I get down there.
Wow.
And
Talk about
also,
doors opening.
like, the lead of this thing going on. And then, yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, I mean, I have a job. I'm a nanny. One day and I can kind of see how this is all happening, but at first it was 3 days a week, and then they lowered it down to 1, and then I was like, I still feel bad because I don't want to like put them out. And the next day she texts me and she goes, I don't think we're gonna need you anymore. Like, he does not working 20 hours.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Wow.
This is nuts. So the way that it is just,
Oh my God. Did we not just say on the last video or our conversation, like literally set the intention that if it's supposed to happen, all the other doors were shut and the ones that were ready to open?
mm-hmm.
Boom. I mean, talk about intention. Holy
Mm-hmm.
crap. Like you literally just have the path just open up without any like hardship.
Literally.
Everything that would have stopped you from going forward with this path
Mm-hmm.
has just literally opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. I'm coming to New
Mexico. Okay, yes.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Can we pause this? We'll pause this and I'll help you edit it if we need to. Because I need to figure that out too. CapCut. Amazing.
Yeah.
I want to tell you the specifics.
Okay. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. So what else?
Okay.
Energy going on. We've got dreams going on. We've got some crazy stuff. We can kind of end this. This one can be a short video too. Because it's like there's so much going on.
Well, there was this, that kind of leads into more details. I'll tell you later, actually.
Yeah, but like
it's so much bigger. Like, okay. Well, I went in the bath the next day because I was like, that was magical. Okay, here's another thing about where I'm going is that it is right next to the Rio Grande. You know, it's the biggest lake in all of New Mexico is literally right there. There's a mountain called Turtleback Mountain. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And then the lake is called Elephant Butte. And then it's next to the Rio Grande, and it's before it was called what it's called now. It was Hot Springs. It was just called Hot Springs. It's literally a town of hot springs.
Wow.
Mineral water.
That's exciting. That's cool.
So that plays a big part in it, because it's like I literally that's where I get
Yeah,
active most, is in water. And I'm like,
me too. Golly, the stuff I get when I'm in water. Like if I take a shower, uh I've noticed that because I always set my intention when I'm in the shower. Like I imagine that the water's cleansing me. So I'm like washing the density down the drain kind of a thing. And I've always used it because water's programmable. So I'm like, help me remember, help me remember, help me remember who I am.
that's a good. Oh, I was gonna say the epiphanies you had. That's good.
Yeah, like I always do that. And then when I'm in the tub, holy crap, like stuff will come out. Like I get like these really insane information when I'm in the shower or the bath. Like, and I've been intentionally taking baths this week. I think I took 3 this week. And I know, how I told you I'm not a big bath taker. I've been taking baths. But here's what I do want. Like the whole moral of today's video is I think that what I learned this week from this energy influx is that I have always suppressed my emotions. And this may help somebody, because being in a traumatic childhood, being a perfectionist, being a procrastinator, we all know it's trauma based, right? So something has happened in our childhood. It actually happened prior to the age of 7. So I'm probably talking to a lot of you. I don't remember a lot of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
When I go back to the age of 7, at the age of 7, I was in 2nd grade. So I remember very vaguely. My memories really kick in about grade 3 when I was 8. Okay. So from 7 earlier, I have blips of memory. From that, that's where I created my lack mindset, because my parents, even though we had money, they always treated us like we can't go do this because so it was always this lack mindset. So even though we didn't, the way that they raised me, we were always afraid of running out. So therefore my lack mindset originated at that point. So that's been brought to my awareness.
Same.
And I have also realized in this journey of last week's energy influx of there were solar winds. There was also we had solar winds as well as flares. So there is something to do with that when it's both in the same week. So I'm thinking that's where some of this energy was coming from, that I was kind of like, woof, up high, low, low kind of stuff. But what I realized in that moment was I always suppress my emotions. And for the first time, when I was
Man.
crying, when I felt like this ugly cry, normally I would have stopped myself, because I would have been like, oh gosh, I need to go do this and I need to get, like, I would avoid the feeling of feeling that way. But for some reason, this last week on Friday, I was literally sitting there and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I know this is not mine. And I kept hearing allow. Oh, I just got chills. I had to allow this to come up and out. And some of it could have been mine. Some of this could have been suppressed, God knows what, because I've suppressed so long in my life. So some of it could have been mine, but it was never like a specific memory came up or a specific trauma came up. Nothing of that. I just knew that this cry of depressed sadness had to come out of me. And once I realized, okay, I didn't feel like it was truly linked to just me, then I allowed it to come out of me. And it was so, it felt like a weight, and I was like, and here's the weird part. I didn't have a whole lot of tears with it. It was weird. It was like, I would cry and I'm just like, oh God, like that. But then I was like, it was so weird. I don't know how to explain it, but there was not like the way that I felt from the inside of letting this out. Like there should have been alligator tears. There was no tear. Like I did have some, don't get me wrong, but like the way that this influx of like stuff that came out of me, it was almost like, and I laugh about it after I went through this thing, and I'm like texting my friend Angie, and I'm like, Angie, oh my God, is something going on? Are you feeling this weird sadness? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's not just me. Like I had to clarify, like, is this me So anyways, and then
I wish you would have texted me.
I know. Well,
Oh,
it was
well,
like
now
she,
I'm realizing I didn't feel it as much as I should have. I wish,
yeah,
because I went to old,
like suppressing.
yeah,
Yeah.
suppressing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't, because that's, I mean, it's all a learning lesson. So I will have another opportunity,
Yes.
but
It
it's,
was the weirdest thing though. And you know what, I like, this is the vision that I got after I had like all that happened. And I realized, like, as I'm crying, like ugly crying, and I'm like, why am I crying? You know, and I'm like there's nothing. You know those movies where you have these kids and they're just like and they're like boohooing their eyeballs out, but there's no tears.
uh-huh.
And you're like, that was all an act, right? That's exactly, and I laughed. That's kind of like how I guess my higher self was like, okay, good, you've done whatever you needed to do. And so they gave me that vision, and then all I could do was laugh about it, because I was like, oh my God, whatever that was, I did it. I guess I did what I was supposed to do. I felt into it. I let it out. It didn't come out the way I thought it was going to come out. It was just like
You're like,
but I felt better, you know. And then
so
that's
fun.
the vision I saw. I saw this little girl. Literally, I saw a vision of this little girl. It didn't look like me, but it was this little girl, and she was like, you know, like those Christmas movies, because I love like Hallmark movies around this time. Even though I know how they're going to end, I still love them because they're mushy, you know. But I just saw this little kid in like pigtails. She was like, ah, you know, I want this thing, and then she couldn't get it, and she was just like,
That's hilarious.
and then I was fine. Like, I literally, it was something that my higher self knew that I would like, okay, cool, it's over. Like, go about your day.
Well, I actually heard this
So
thing that said that you really only have to feel your emotions for 14 seconds. So when you feel those emotions, you want to suppress them, just remember that you only have to feel them for 14 seconds for you to process them.
oh, it was very short for me. Like,
so I was just like, wow. So there's times where I will, have grief with Lexi, my best friend who passed away. And I don't want to feel that, especially it's at the most inconvenient times.
Yeah.
That I feel that. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. So then I'll like try to distract myself so that I don't have to cry in public. But I'm like, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel these emotions, like feel them. Otherwise, why do I care what any of these people think? All I'm doing is hindering myself by holding in these suppressed emotions.
Yep. And I don't know what it is too. Like, and I've told you, this week my brother has been coming back into my awareness, and I'm like, oh God, because I went through grief with him, and I've never done that with any, like, my grandparents have died and I was super close to them, but I never, like, I always said, I remember whenever my grandma died, I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. And I cried a little bit, and I was like, why am I crying? Like, she was really mean to me anyways. And but I never went through the grieving process. But my brother died, and I was not even that close to him, and I wish that I was, but he went down a crazy path that I didn't agree with, and went into judgment and all that crap. So I missed out of my like being able to bond back with him like we were when we were younger. And even though he lived like literally 5 minutes away from me, we still didn't see each other, and I mean, we saw each other every week because we go out to eat or we do something every week, but still it was not the same.
It wasn't like quality.
Yeah, it wasn't like him and us two going doing something. Except for this one time. Let me tell you what he did. This little con artist. So he was really sick. This is like close to the end. He wasn't at his lowest low, but he was coughing a lot, and we didn't know what was going on. And he would drive to Virginia to get some good stuff, right? Some good. And
good.
And
what was his good?
Well, it's Virginia weed.
Oh, okay.
So everywhere around here, like,
just curiosity, not that it matters.
THCA is like what we have here. So he wanted, apparently Virginia was better. I don't know. I don't do any
legal there.
Huh?
Is it legal there?
Yeah, it's legal in Virginia. So, anyways, he was like, "Hey," he always called me Sissy. He never called me by my name. So he's like, "Hey, Sissy, you got
I
any
love
plans
that.
today?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Okay, cool. You want to go ride?" And I was like, "Sure. We don't never do anything. I'll do that." So he's driving to start us out, and we go to the gas station, get gas. And I was like, "Okay, cool. You know, that makes sense." And I thought we were going to go to the lake because I'm 7 minutes from the lake. And I was like, "Okay, cool. We're going to go to the lake." Well, he was like, "Hey, Sissy, will you drive? Because I'm feeling weak." And I was like, "Well, yeah, you know, he is weak." So I was like, "Okay." Well, we get, and he's like, "Hey, go up 40." So we go up 40, and I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe we're gonna go to Morristown." I was like, "Cool, I'll go get a coffee because I go to Morristown and get a coffee. I love this coffee shop." And we passed the exit, and I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Just keep going, I'll tell you." That joker conned me into driving him all the way to Virginia to get stuff, and okay, I was in hobo clothes. Like I was literally in like fuzzy pants. I was in Croc shoes. Like I didn't match because I thought we were just going to chill, right?
Yeah.
Well, this crazy joker was like, "Okay, now you got to go in with me." And I was like, "Dude, I
You're
don't
like, oh,
match. I'm in like PJ stuff attire." He's like, "So?" He's like, "We'll see you again." He didn't care. I missed that about him, but he was just like, "Who cares? Like, you ain't ever gonna see these people again. You're probably never gonna come back." And I was like, "True." So I go in there and I'm like, "I gotta pee anyway." So I go in and get my stuff, whatever. We wait and he comes back out. And he ended up taking it. He did a TikTok, no, a Snapchat, and I didn't even know he did it. And I found it on his phone. I'm gonna cry. Um,
oh.
but yeah, so he's been coming up, and so I think there's still some apparently grief that I need to still release from him. And it's just like, golly, you know, you think you can get through these emotions, and you're not like, I didn't know I was even attached to him that much, you know.
Mhm.
But
Oh
it's
my.
also like, is it linked to other parts? You know, like I don't know if there's other grief from not even this lifetime, because I know I've had other lifetimes with him, you know. Um, and I think a lot of that has to be processed now. And it's just like all this influx of emotions are coming up. And if we don't allow it, it really is just prolonging our healing, you know. So I'm still learning, you know, gosh.
Did I did I tell you about Shrinking, the show on Apple TV?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was my therapist I was telling. So there's a show. This correlates with what we were saying. I'll get there's called there's this show called Shrinking on Apple TV. So it's about this therapist who loses his wife in a car. She gets a car accident. He's a therapist and
Mm.
he has a daughter. And he because he's a human too, you know, does his own thing. Anyways, point being, so he kind of honestly abandons his daughter emotionally. Well, his higher up guy, the head of the practice, he's an older guy. I know you know this actor. He used to be an old cowboy guy.
Not Clint Eastwood, is it? That's the first one that popped in my head.
Is it Clint Eastwood? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Anyways, it actually might. Is he gray?
No.
Mustache?
I don't know if he sometimes I don't know.
Gray, probably in his 70s mustache. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But he is like her safe space. I would say therapist, but it's not. She just goes and talks to him about stuff. Anyways, and he said to have, I don't know if it was daily or weekly, just 10 minutes where um she just looks at pictures and cries intentionally,
Yeah.
listens to music, does different things, and intentionally lets those emotions out. And I was like, oh man, I should really do that. And not only with Lexi, but I had to get a whole new Snapchat because I couldn't even stand looking at any memories from my past because I'm grieving my whole entire life before my awakening.
Yep.
Because I mean, duality exists. I was not in a great place mentally, but there's still good memories in those days, you know,
Yep.
old people that you aren't in your life anymore, yada, yada, yada. So I think maybe that's something we should start doing maybe once a week.
Yeah. Doing
Um, because like that would be really good to really set up our body.
yeah. Well, this is another thing that's been so weird. I have literally random songs have made me emotional. There was that one song that I listened to and I was like, I mean, I got so overwhelmed with emotion and I just cried. I was like, why? And I felt my body vibrate and it was just like I knew I was releasing sadness and grief. Um, but it was not even like the song was like just remembering your soul, and I was like, oh my God, is my soul like it's not tears of sadness, it was tears of joy that I'm starting to wake up and remember who I truly am. And then there was another song that popped in my head, and it was a freaking Elton John song. And I can't remember the name of it. It has nothing to do with anything, but I listened to that song. It was like, go listen to it. And I did. And it made me cry so hard. And I was like, what? And I think what I feel, this is a Heather thing. I have not got this from anywhere. This is just me on my personal journey. I'm thinking that the God, our higher self will find a certain song, and it has nothing to do with the song or the words to the song. Sometimes it does, but sometimes not. And it's about the energy frequency in the song. It may be that the intention in the song, it may not have to do the words, right? Like it's the intention behind the music that then activates us, because music is energy and it's vibration, and it will bring stuff out of us. And it's like the weirdest stuff has been happening to me. And I can't even put it into words because it's like there is no word that I can even describe what's really happening, because it's like so it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like if I can tell you telepathically, I can explain it, but I cannot put it in 3D words. Like
it's like yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so crazy.
I have been I connect with my spirit guides. Like that's the first thing that my spirit guides like connected with me through was music.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been noticing recently, like on TikTok, they'll send me, and it's so weird. I get videos of people who are just lip singing to songs that I've never heard before, or have there's songs that I do know that they just messages and stuff. 0 likes, no followers, like their first post. And I'm like, I just got chills. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Gut feeling. This is the weirdest feeling.
Yeah, you're definitely getting activated big time. It's crazy cool. And I mean, that was how, like in the very beginning, when I started doing hypnosis sessions with QHHT, and I had nobody to talk to. I had like no everybody in my family was like, meh, like I'm not discrediting you, but I don't want to go down that journey. Like nobody wanted.
My family is too.
My husband was a trooper, but he does not like talking about this all the time, where I can talk about this nonstop because I'm always learning, and I know that I still don't know it all. And I'm stating this now throughout my entire channel. There are things that I have said even 3 months ago that I'm like, well, crap, I don't believe that way anymore. So we have to be okay with change. We have to be okay with, like, the more that we know, the more that we grow. And there's things that I've said on my channel that I'm like, oh God, I don't even resonate with that anymore. Like I've grown and understand it to a different level. And what I know now still ain't the whole picture. Like this is the reason why I wanted to create this channel, was because it's like, as I grow and we talk through, it's like we get activated even more and more. And I know that I don't know it all. I know that even where I'm at right now, I still don't have the whole picture. And it's still just like, whoa, I know there's more to come, and I'm okay with making mistakes. This is part of for Marissa and I know she can account for this. Like, this is part of our fear, is like, we're going to say the wrong thing. But my guys are like, so what? You're going to screw up, and you have to be okay with. And it's not that I regret saying the things that I've said, because I'm like, oh God, I just did a video about words, Marissa and I, but I did a video a long time ago about words are powerful. And now I see that we give our power away. But I needed that then to get me to a positive mindset. So it wasn't that I was creating my own toxic reality, yes, but I was also giving my power away. But now I've learned that through my journey that somebody might need that back whenever you start. You know, it's like we have to be okay with growth. We have to be okay with our truth changing, because we have been so blindsided. We don't even know what truth is. And I don't even know if we're going to figure it all out by the time the shift happens. But we have to continuously be open and growing and changing and be okay with that. There is nothing solid ever.
Well, I was just looking up because there was a post that someone just liked it the other day, like yesterday. And I was like, because I'll repost things. I'm like a repost queen on Facebook. Anyways, but this is like something I want to like attach, because it's like, I need to remember this, but it takes curiosity to learn. It takes courage to unlearn. Yeah. Learning requires the humility to admit that you don't know today. Unlearning requires the integrity to admit that you were wrong yesterday. Learning is how you evolve. Unlearning is how you keep up as the world evolves. And I love that.
You need to screenshot that. I need to put that on my wall.
Right?
That's exactly how I feel. And I'm okay with that. Like literally, this has been a huge shift in going to the top of the mountain, that vision that I keep talking about. It's like, I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with myself right now. All I know is it's about finding out who I truly am. I know that I'm a spark of divine source energy here in the human form. I do know that. That's about all I can tell you. I know that we got nefarious energy happening around us and we're trying to ascend humanity to a higher dimension. I do know that. But as far as everything else on this earthly realm, I have no freaking idea. Like I am literally like a kid in a candy store going, okay, what else can I learn? And it's not that I'm learning, I'm just remembering. It feels like learning, but it literally is me remembering and having to figure out what discernment really means for me. Because there's so much out there. There's so much false light. And I never want to stray anybody in the wrong direction. So you have to take what resonates with you, and the rest of it, you know, will come. Like these are breadcrumbs for everybody that watches this. And all I can do is just tell you what my truth is right now. And I can be wrong, and I will admit to that. I am okay with that. But for right now, where I'm at in my journey, this is what I believe to be true as of right now on my journey. And I'm okay with that. And I think we all have to be confident where we are on our journey, no matter what. Super cool. So I say that is good information for today, and we can leave it there. It's great catching up, and yeah, we'll just kind of see where we go with the future. And we got lots more to share, but it has been a wonky week, and we felt like it was more important to talk about this wonky week of energy, because you're probably feeling it, and you're not alone.
Tell us your experiences.
Yeah.
Like, what are you feeling? Have you went through similar things? Because I personally love, when I first awakened, I couldn't even comprehend what a collective was. Right. And then you start talking to people and realize what a collective is. And now I'm so intrigued at how everyone experiences the same thing differently.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear your comments.
Like, share this with someone that you think
make a video. I mean, you can always make a video and like, I don't know if you can tag it. I don't know how YouTube works. Yeah. Tag it. Oh no, we'll see. But anyways.
Yeah. Thank you. And we will see you again next time.